everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Fiddle. I am an artist, a crafter, and a miniaturist that likes to teach others that they can be creative too. Link to Scavenger Hunt, patterns, and materials is listed in the description box below. And please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. It really helps me out a lot with YouTube's algorithm. Okay, are you ready? Let's go. Today we will be starting on a four-part series where we're revisiting the cold porcelain clay doll. I have a custom order for one and thought it would be a good time to come and redo this video. Okay, let's get started. We will need the top portion of our pattern, straws, and tape. You will need two straws that are 1¼ inches long, one straw, wait. You need two straws that are 1¼ inches long, one straw that is a ½ inch long, and then a straw that is 1½ inches long. Lay a strip of tape, sticky side up, on a surface that has lines on it. Use the lines of your surface to make sure that your body lines are straight. Cut the tape at angles at each of the corners, then wrap the tape around until your pieces are held together. As you're taping, make sure that you're laying your piece down flat on the surface. It might have a tendency to twist a little bit, and that will throw your hips and shoulders off. Once we're all taped up, we're going to start with the grocery bag. This is going to be body filler because cold porcelain clay works best in thin layers, which is very true, and we're using it for a thicker application here, so as much stuffing as we can afford to use, we should. I ended up using about one grocery bag. I cut it down into strips to make it more manageable and just started wrapping and twisting until I had the body filled up. If you wanted to use thin foam or even batting to fill the doll's body, that would work well too. Even aluminum foil, matter of factly, I think aluminum foil would probably be better than grocery bag, although that would make the doll a little heavier in the end. Now that we're all wrapped in plastic, it's time to go back and wrap in tape. The easiest way to do this is cut it into strips until you're on the final layer. For it, it's best to use bigger pieces to hold down all the little ends that we've left with the little strips. Be sure to get as close as you can to the openings of your straws so that way it covers the grocery bag but not your holes, because we're going to be poking wire and elastic through these in the end. Now that we're all done with the tape, it's time to start with the clay. I had made a note on the Scavenger Hunt saying not to color clay beforehand, and this is because like I said, we're using thin applications, so we're going to cover it, let it dry a bit, and then come back and add more to it for the details and such. And what that does is the layers would dry somewhat transparent when you start to thin the clay, and that causes it to change colors. So it's best to leave your clay white and then paint or brush over it in the end. And my prompt for this doll is witch, so all of these imperfections are actually going to help in the end. After you get a base layer cover down, Let it dry for about a day. It would be very difficult to try to finish the torso in one day because you would be touching the body while fixing other places, and that could cause damage. Now that we're on to the details, one of the things to remember is symmetry and placement. Symmetry because this is a body, and for the most part, it is equal on both sides. There are variations, but we want to try to get them as close as possible to represent a human. One way to make sure that you keep on track with that is measuring out your portions of clay and have equal portions for each part. Dampen the dry surface before adding your portion of clay with water. This softens it up just enough so your new clay will stick to it. If you just leave it go or try using something else, it will not stick, but you do have to be mindful of how much water you're using. It will cause the clay to crack if you use too much. You can go in later once it's completely dry and fill in the cracks, however, they will still be visible. The tool that I have found the best for this project, especially the torso, has been that clear handled silicone spatula. It makes smoothing the clay a lot easier, and you don't have to worry about fingerprints with it. With this project, I kind of wanted to get more detailed than I did with my last ones and see what I could do a little more creatively. For the torso, that really doesn't show up as much because there's not really much to a torso. I did add actual breasts and collarbones, and they did turn out really good. But for the head, especially, I put quite a bit of detail in it. I'm just hoping that it translates through during painting. One of the nice things about this clay is that you don't have to worry about air bubbles. They will just stay the way they are. It won't rise to the surface or crack wherever there's an air bubble. That makes it a lot easier to work with than other materials. Because this is air dry clay, when you're not working with it, you want it to be covered. Another YouTuber that I watch stores hers under a glass dome, so I just went to the kitchen and grabbed a regular glass drinking cup and turned it upside down over my clay. Sometimes I'll even add a dab of lotion inside of there so that way there's extra moisture. For long term storage, I put it inside of a grocery bag and twist it up and use a big binder paper clip to hold the bag closed, and then I put that inside of a storage container bowl with a lid. I do not store mine in the refrigerator and have never had a problem with it molding because of the vinegar that is in the clay itself. A beginner's tip would be for the grocery bag that you put the clay in, make sure that there's no printing on it. I have found that the printing will come off onto your clay and then it's dyed whatever color was printed on the bag. So usually I tear the bags down and only use the non-printed for the clay. Next, we would talk about placement. I pulled these collarbones off a few times and put them back down because I just didn't have them in the right place. When I had one too high, it kind of looked like her shoulder was more forward than what it should be. The best way to get fine details like this, where you just need a line of a raised bit, is to roll out tiny snakes and then blend the ends. Another thing to remember while you're working on a piece like this is to constantly move it and look at it in different directions because it is a 3D object and we need to see it from all angles. This also helps make sure that our placements stay where they should be. I am over the moon excited for this project. I cannot wait until I get it done. I was actually planning on to do it in one video, but unfortunately I ended up filling up my hard drive before I was finished. So I am still in the midst of making her. Hopefully by next tutorial I will have her done for the most part, just waiting for an outfit. I wanted to thank Ginger for this opportunity, and I really hope that she does enjoy this project. We are one step closer to getting our store up and going. Stay tuned for the update on that. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as it really helps me out a lot, and I'll see you next time.